All right, and we are back with another one. Today, I am joined by Rondell, and it's Bothroyd, correct?
Bothroyd, yeah,
All right, all right. I
yeah,
know there's been some conversations about how to pronounce that. But I am joined today by Rondell Bothroyd with the new addition to the Oklahoma Sooners. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm
Thanks
doing
for
good.
having
Just
me.
yeah, trying to get over all this weather changing. It
Yeah,
totally messes with my allergies and just makes me feel like crap all the time. So
yeah. I wasn't expecting that kind of snow in Oklahoma.
Yeah, you should have seen it last year. Last year we got
Really?
like a foot of snow, and that was crazy. That was crazy. That because that doesn't happen very often. So, but yeah, well, I always like to start off these questions by asking something just a little silly, kind of breaking the ice. But something that's been a little bit of favorite. What are your thoughts about pineapples on pizza?
Um, I don't. I'm not opposed. Like I wouldn't order it. I wouldn't order it. Yeah, I wouldn't order it. I think I would eat it. Have eaten it before. Um, it's not bad, but I definitely would never order it. So I'm
Yeah,
like
so
in
some
the middle, I guess.
yeah, so an interesting thing with pizza that just happened this year at the Oklahoma State Fair, they introduced pickles on pizza. It's like
Yeah,
you have
I've
like a
seen that
pickle
too.
juice and pickle pizza.
Yeah, I haven't had
Yeah.
that yet. I gotta try that though.
Yeah, I'm good though. I like my cheese pizza. What's your go-to topping for a pizza?
Either either bacon or like hamburger, like most places call it meatball, but if you go to a good place, like because I'm from Connecticut, so
Okay.
we have like really good pizza, and either bacon or hamburger. Yeah,
Well, we definitely don't have the pizza style of pizzas from the north, but
yeah.
we have Hideaway Pizza here. That's really good. I think there's one in
Hideaway.
Norman. Yeah, and then there's Hall's Pizza. That's in Midtown Oklahoma City. It's a really popular place. They do
Okay.
wood-fired pizza, real good. So if you like pizza, and you got to check it out. There's a couple
Yeah.
places you should go.
I gotta
They're
I
not
gotta.
they're not sponsored or anything. We just like to give people shout outs sometimes that they got good food. But yeah, go ahead and just kind of give everybody a little insight to just who is Rondell, a little bit about your family, where are you from, where'd you grow up, what do you
Yeah.
like to do outside of football?
So I'm from Connecticut. Grew up there. Uh, my high school's on UConn's campus. If any of you guys know what that is. Yeah. I have my mom, my grandma. They come to like every game. I have my three aunts, my little cousins. They're all like siblings. My sister, my nephew. We're all really close. What else? I went to Wake Forest. 5 years. Graduated there, and now I'm here.
Yeah, so you've been at Wake Forest. What is the biggest football stadium that you've ever played in? Because Norman's pretty big. It's like 80, I think it's like 85 or 86,000 people,
Yeah.
but I think we can get like 88 with the standing room. What's the biggest football stadium you've ever played in?
Clemson probably. Yeah, Clemson. Virginia Tech was probably the
Nice.
loudest I played in. I think Clemson's probably the biggest though. I can't really. Florida State maybe one of those.
Florida State looks really cool from the TV.
It's
Out of
cool.
those yeah, out of all those ACC teams, which one had probably the coolest tradition? So with Virginia Tech, you have Enter Sandman.
Yeah.
With the Seminoles, you have the chief riding out on the horse, and they do what the Chiefs do,
Yeah.
the chant. What's probably the coolest tradition that you've seen from an opposing school you've been to?
The horse is cool. Like they do the spear and the tomahawk in the middle of the field. They didn't let us see Enter Sandman. Like they were like holding us back in the locker room until they did it. Uh, and then the hill at Clemson's like a big tradition too, which is it's cool to see on TV, but then you see it in person and you're playing them. It's like, what are they doing this for? But it's cool looking back at it.
Yeah, so for you said 5 years you've played at Wake Forest. You've got a chance to literally see BV on the opposite side of the field.
Yeah,
What is it like to now be coached by a guy that you have pretty much played against your entire career?
yeah. It's cool. We haven't done much football because they're recruiting, and I don't think they can even do any football with us. But it's just cool to see because at Wake, I'm sitting on the sideline watching them just get after everybody, get after our offense, and you know who's behind it. It was Venables. And yeah, it's on my visit. He showed me film and like how he thinks through things, and it was really cool to see his side of things. Like he showed me Clemson film, and I remember some of the plays, and it was like, wow, that was what he was thinking, like what was going through his head and what the play was, and it wasn't really that hard of a concept, and it just looked like from the outside, it just looked like a defense that was getting after people all day, every day, and for how many years he's been coaching.
Yeah, and even though, we had a down year last year at 6-7, you look at the tackles for loss, like this team was still getting after people. You really just had a couple chunk plays that
Right.
really determined your games. And outside of that, the defense was pretty solid and held up strong a good chunk of the season. But so you were there at Wake Forest for 5 years. What goes into the decision to enter the transfer portal, and how do you go about finding a new home?
I think it's because I graduated, and I think my time at Wake, I think I did it like I did my time at Wake, and I think I just needed to put my name on like a bigger platform, I guess you could say. And I just think at Wake, like it's still everyone kind of undermines Wake, even though we built that program and like beat the best schools in the country. I still think you could have a great season there, and NFL scouts still kind of discredit it. So after the feedback I got, I just thought it was best to find a bigger school with a bigger market and try to play in a different conference and show that I can play in the ACC and I can play in the Big 12. And that was kind of the reason behind it, and just a fresh start.
Yeah, you guys have had an incredible run at Wake Forest. I think you guys spit off, what was it, 1 or 2 11-win seasons while you were there? Was it just 1?
Well, I was there as just 1, yeah. Which I don't. Last time it happened was a while ago, but then
Yeah,
like we were ranked 3 times, or 3 of the seasons I was there, we got ranked a bunch, and it was just cool to like see the program go from not great to great.
Yeah, you guys have definitely taken that program in a different direction. So when you're in the transfer portal, I know it's a little bit different than from when you're in high school, but how do you go about finding a new home? What does that process look like in terms of like taking visits, getting the offers? Are you trying to utilize existing relationships, or how does that process work?
Yeah. I mean, it was definitely more hectic than high school because I'm from Connecticut, so wasn't a lot of recruiting going on until I got a few bigger offers. But definitely a few coaches that recruited me in high school are at different places now, so they hit me up, which was cool. Just like catching up and them telling me like they followed me through college. And then when the bigger schools came, it was cool. My family like was enjoying it, but it was a little overwhelming. Like phone calls every day. And then I did it pretty late, so the time frame I had for visits and to even like consider which schools I had was like 4 days, I think. So I only got to go to 2 schools. I was planning on 3 or 4, but it was like 4 days, so I had to really narrow it down, which was tough because I've never been to some of the places that I was going to go, and I was torn between like going to just to visit, or am I visiting because I want to go there? Like I could see myself going there.
Yeah, and I would assume the transfer portal is the second option, or second chance to go in there and see all the different schools and see all the different options. Because sometimes, like you said, in the recruiting world, you don't always get that. So,
Right.
that's definitely really cool. What were some of the other schools that you were potentially looking at, or even considering?
So the only schools I visited was here in Auburn. And I was planning to visit to USC, planning to visit to Penn State, and planning to visit to Notre Dame, but then I had to narrow it down. And these are probably the biggest schools. Those 5, 6, 5. Those are probably the biggest schools I was talking to. But yeah, then I just narrowed it down and went with my heart.
Yeah, no, Penn State's awesome. I love their wideout tradition that they do. There's nothing
Yeah.
like in
Yeah.
college football. You know, see everybody put on one shirt to white out in
Yeah.
a stadium. That's definitely awesome. So
Yeah. It's cool.
yeah. So looking at Oklahoma, what really stood out to you to want to commit here?
I think it was Coach Chavis and just the coaching staff in general. It felt really comfortable, and obviously their track record. Coach Bates too. Coach Bates and Coach Chavis were they took me around and talked to me the whole time. My mom and grandma liked them, and then Coach V, they loved him too. And I think it was just being comfortable around him and knowing that they've put D linemen in the NFL every year, year after year. And I think personally I can make a huge impact on Coach Venables' defense and the scheme. And then the fact that Big 12 offenses are known for being good offenses, it'll be good if we can make a statement and kind of put our foot down and bring the defense up.
Yeah, no. If you guys are the ones that are able to really transform this defense and take it to new heights, definitely, you know, NFL scouts and everybody are going to be looking down on you guys like, oh, who are these guys? Because you guys are going to be the change. And you know, I think Sooner Nation is definitely excited to hear something like that. So during your recruiting process, and you said you took a visit to Auburn, what was like the best recruiting experience that you ever had?
Uh, I'm not a big fan of like all the attention and like all the photo shoots and all that. Auburn only went for like a day. Here was only like a day and like breakfast, I think, just because I had so little time to visit. So I don't really have an answer for that one. Yeah, I mean Auburn was cool. Just seeing like the little college town here was cool. I think it all would have been cool because Wake Forest is kind of small, and I was used to that atmosphere and the stadium and I think it's like 6,000 undergrad. So I think all of them have been cool, but
Is there a specific player that is currently in college football, in the NFL, or somebody that has previously played the game that you kind of model your game after and look up to?
I wouldn't say model. There's definitely people I like to watch and take little hints and little things like that. But you hear like Aaron Donald talk, and you try to take everything you can from Aaron Donald because he's the greatest. You try to like JJ Watt, anything. I used to love watching Everson Griffin. I used to love watching him when he was in his prime. I'm a big Myles Garrett guy because his get off is ridiculous. So half the time he doesn't even have to do anything crazy, which don't think people really know. And then all the good guys. TJ Watt is cool. It's fun to watch. I played with Boogie Basham on the Bills now. He was always fun to watch in college, like film of him. And then like my boy Luigi, I played with him. He's on the Vikings now. He was a good pass rusher. So just taking little things from everybody's game is kind of how I like to play.
Yeah, so you've been around guys that are in the NFL now. Have
Yeah.
you stayed connected with them and kind of asked about, you know, how to start preparing yourself while you're in college to translate to the NFL game? Because I was listening to an interview the other day with Derrick Henry, and it was like he said it's completely different between the NFL life and the college life.
Yeah, I mean, when I talk to them, at first they always say it was easier than our practices, than like all the preparing we had to do. But like you're fighting for your job every day, they say. So that part is tough. It's a business. You have to watch more film than anybody else to keep your job. You have to work harder than everybody else to keep your job. So it ends up not being as easy or easier than college, just because the practices aren't too tough. The outside part of it is definitely tougher than college football, and they said that's something you have to prepare for.
That's yeah, I've kind of always wondered how, you know, you guys are going to translate between college to the NFL, because I would assume it was always a big jump. But talking about the NFL, there's some pretty big games this week. What are your
Yeah.
thoughts on the NFL playoffs and Who do you think is going to get to the Super Bowl? Because this one's, I feel like we do have the 4 best teams in the playoffs right now.
I mean, I'm a Chargers fan, so I don't believe that's true. I think the Chargers they're always just missing that last like minute drive. But
that was rough. That was a rough game.
Yeah, I've been watching it my whole life, so I think I want the Bengals to win, just because the Chiefs are AFC, so I don't want them having that much over the Chargers. Well, they're in the AFC West. I meant, yeah, I think I want the Bengals to win. Eagles look great, but my stepdad's Eagles fan, so I don't want to hear his mouth if they win.
Yeah, well, I'm a Chiefs fan, so we'll definitely be rooting against each other on Sundays because, I love Chiefs. But no, my buddy's a Chargers fan, and I watched that 27-point lead that was blown, and I was like, oh, I just feel so bad for Chargers fans.
It's tough, but they're great. I love Herbert. He's good. Keenan Allen's probably my favorite player in the NFL. And then I'm a Chargers fan because I watched when I was little. I played running back, so I was an LT fan, big LT guy. And
yeah,
Antonio Gates. So I just stuck with that my whole life.
That Chargers team this year, it on paper, it's so scary. And I look at what they could be next year, assuming that they're all healthy with Khalil Mack, and they have J.C. Jackson, right? It's J.C. Jackson that they got during the offseason.
Yeah, he got hurt.
Yeah, their offense is stellar on paper. Their defense is, I mean, it's So I expect the Chargers to be giving the Chiefs a little bit of pain next year in the playoffs, but we'll see.
We'll see.
Yeah, well, kind of just transitioning a little bit more into just your post-football life. What do you like to do just outside of football, whether it's during the off season or during the regular season?
Yeah. Well, like job-wise, I majored in health and exercise science, and I got a minor in education. So my main goal is to make some money in the NFL that I can just like live comfortably and teach and like coach high school. If I don't, I'll probably stay in like the health field, maybe like medical sales or like PT or like a sports trainer or something like that. Maybe even coach at like a higher level, which I wouldn't love, but it makes good money and I could do it because I played at this level. And then hobbies, I'm a pretty boring guy. I love like new food spots, new like adventures, stuff like that. I love going to movies. I haven't played video games in a while, but I used to play a good amount of video games, new shows, stuff like that. I just like chilling.
Yeah, well, if you like to get back into video games, Madden here among the team is a pretty competitive game amongst the guys. So and according to the camaraderie that's happening over there, Billy Bowman is the best at the Madden, I guess. So if you decide to get back into it, you'll have to challenge him.
Yeah, I haven't played anybody because I'm not willing to take that risk yet. I got to get back on my own sticks, and then I'll hop on in the locker room. But I don't know who's the best yet. I haven't heard anything.
Yeah. So you said you like movies. What's your favorite genre? Favorite movie?
Favorite genre is probably like psychological thrillers, psychological thrillers. I like romance. I like rom-coms, all that kind of stuff. Favorite movie of all time, probably A Quiet Place or Inception. Probably one of those two, I think, if I had to pick.
A Quiet Place is a good one. I've seen that one. I don't think I've seen Inception.
It's you gotta sit down and like pay attention for 3 hours. It's tough.
Is there a movie that you're excited to see this year that's coming out?
Coming out? Not really. I haven't really been looking either. I'm not a big trailer guy because I feel like the trailer gives it away. So if I see a movie that I think I like, I go see it. If I don't like it, I don't like it.
They do. A lot of the time they give it away in those trailers. You get to see all the best scenes, and then you go sit down in the movie and you're like, I felt like I just watched it. So
yeah. And I think another one of my favorites is The Help. It's like a feel good movie for me. I don't know why. Everyone always looks at me crazy, but The Help's a great movie if you haven't seen it.
Yeah, no, I haven't seen it, so I'll have to add that
Yeah,
one to my
you
list
gotta
as
watch that one.
well. So yeah. So as we start to wrap up here, just one more question and going in. What is your biggest motivation when you step out onto the field week in and week out?
I think ever since I started college football, it's always been my family, like my mom. Like that saying, like my mom's still working, grandma's still working, so I feel like I've always wanted to just be able to provide them with what they gave me my whole life. And obviously, it's more than money, but like money would put them in a better spot to be comfortable, and just making people from where I'm from proud, making my family proud. It's always just in the back of my mind when I'm playing. So I try not to ever really like take a play off. Um, or yeah. So I think my family's probably my biggest motivation.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. That's great to hear. As we wrap up, is there anything else you want to go ahead and say to Sooner Nation?
Uh, I'm excited. I'm really excited. I got here like a week and a half ago, so I'm still settling in. If you guys have food recommendations, I need that. Even though we get fed like I think 2 meals a day here. But I'm excited. I'm excited to get rolling with the plays, with the coaching. Um, I'm excited to play in front of you guys, just because I haven't played in front of that many people. I don't think maybe maybe Clemson or Florida State, but it'll be fun. And I know I'm gonna give it my all, and just hope you guys like me, and hope you guys like how I play. So I'm gonna give it my all though. So